We have the Boy Scouts here.
Mr. Mayor, it's time.
I'd like to call this regular meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Prior to our invocation, I'd like to have a moment of silence as our in remembrance of our former city manager, Jim Russell, who passed away this past week. Thank you. We're pleased to have Pastor Lucia Cortez para ofrecer la invocación.
Buenas noches a todos. Gracias te damos, Dios, por la oportunidad que nos das de estar en este lugar. Primeramente, te damos gracias por cada vida, cada servidor que está en esta noche aquí con un propósito para llegar en acuerdos y algo, cosas importantes para nuestra ciudad. Bendigo sus vidas, bendigo sus familias en este tiempo. Te pedimos también tu dirección divina para todo lo que se lleve a cabo en esta noche. Así como Salomón, el sabio más poderoso y más sabio de la tierra, siempre buscaba tu dirección, así nosotros buscamos tu dirección y te invitamos para ser partícipe de todo. Gracias porque tú nos permites ser siervos tuyos para nuestra comunidad. En el nombre de Jesús oramos todo esto. Amén.
Muchas gracias. Item number 4, roll call, please.
Mayor Donald Hewish.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tempore Margaret Morales. Present. Councilmember Mitch Lindeman. Councilmember Dania Acosta. Present. Councilmember Ray Shelton.
Present.
Councilmember Michael Valdenegro.
Here,
And Councilmember Valdenegro, can you please provide us with your password?
W51214.
Thank you. And what is your location?
My residence at 1500 San Antonio Drive in Douglas.
Thank you. And is anyone else with you?
Negative.
Thank you. Councilmember Jose Grijalva,
Here.
City Manager Ana Urquijo, City Attorney Dennis Fitzgibbons,
Here.
City Treasurer Luis Pedrosa. Thank you. And Mr. Mayor, for the record, Councilmember Mitch Lindeman is excused.
Thank you very much. Item number 5, presentation of awards. We had our annual Christmas light parade. We'd like to announce the winners at this time. In third place, we're pleased to announce that third place goes to ADOT. Is there anyone here from ADOT? Well, we'll give them a round of applause anyway. And in second place, the Douglas Unified School District Child Nutrition Department. Do we have anybody here from the school district? Thank you all. And first place this year excitingly goes to Cochise County Sheriff's Office. Come on up. We'd also like to thank all participants in the parade and the activities that we had that evening. Item number 6, persons wishing to address the council in writing or verbally on any item not on the agenda.
Yes.
Gentlemen, we have somebody? Thank you. We have Miss Susan Bailey, please.
Council, city manager. I just was wondering what was happening with the dog ordinance, because we're having a major problem in our area and with neighbors and dogs all hours of the night, waking you up and all hours, waking you up at 5 or 6 in the morning, and just a real problem. It's like a dog fest now. One barks and then they all bark. It's so it's interfering with my sleep and others' sleep. We talk about it. That's how I know it's affecting others' neighbors. And I guess all I just want is quiet time between 10 and 6 at least, 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. So that's a concern. I guess the other thing I was thinking about is, because we're having lots of issues in our neighborhood, is about a neighborhood watch in our neighborhood and community. And I was wondering how I go about this, or what thoughts are on this. Those are my 2 things to talk about.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Bailey. What we'll do is we'll get a report back from staff on any citations they've issued and what's going on in their enforcement. And then we'll also have somebody contact you regarding neighborhood watch, give you some suggestions on that issue. I have your phone number right here,
Okay. Yep.
right? Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey. Item number 7, decision on approval of consent agenda items. Item A, expenditures for the month of November 2022 totaling $2,477,661.64. And item B, meeting minutes for October 25 and November 9, 2022. May I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, please.
I move that mayor and council approve consent agenda items A and B as noted.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Morales, second by Mr. Shelton to approve the consent agenda items as presented. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro,
Yes.
Councilmember Grijalva,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tempore Morales,
Yes,
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Also failed to mention, thank Mr. Baldenegro for putting forth the effort to be here. I know he's a little bit under the weather and we wish you the best and thank you for dialing in to be with us this evening. We'll move on to item number 8, discuss and decision on approvals of item A, first reading of ordinance number 22-1154. An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, dissolving the City of Douglas Public Housing Authority, undertaking a department reorganization by eliminating the housing department, establishing severability of components of ordinance, and establishing an effective date thereof. Mr. Kiko, please.
This brings now the public with many steps that we have taken to transition of the housing program. We started with a resolution to give direction to move that transition, and then we might be able to county to together work toward that with HUD. And November 23rd, we received word from the U.S. Department of Housing and Development that they approved the transfer of the city of this public housing authority PHA section 8 for their HCD and FSS programs to the housing authority, which is effective January 1st. So this ordinance now comes before you that officially wrapped up 2 basically enact the resolution of the housing authority. So that is, so what we do have, and what I can tell you is that we are working closely with Lucas County to accompany their services so that there are no gaps in the services provided to our community members. So they'll, effective January 1, start seeing our community members that require service. And we are working on hours, human government center. So we don't have those days of the week that I would say that we will get that out to the community soon after this official. As part of this, we also have many things to still be done in the state. There are bank accounts to close, files to transfer, files to complete, and that will continue to work accordingly and because of the county all there that's the requirement. So we expect about 4 to 6 weeks of continued work using what we hope is sort of from some of those funds to transition over, and then that's the point where we will file. Open to questions, we'll staff you to direct any items that we can.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the placement of the ordinance number 22-1154?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Shelton.
I move that mayor and council approve the placement of ordinance number 22-1154 on its first reading by number and title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Shelton, second by Mrs. Morales to approve the placement of ordinance number 22-1154 on its first reading by number and title only. Questions or discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Montenegro,
Yes.
Councilmember Grijalva,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tempore Morales.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries.
An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, dissolving the city of Douglas Public Housing Authority, undertaking a departmental reorganization by eliminating the housing department, establishing several legal components of ordinance, and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. Now I'll entertain a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance number 22-154.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr.
I
Shelton.
move that the mayor and council approve the first reading of ordinance number 22-1154 and to place it on second reading by number and title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Shelton, second by Ms. Morales to approve the first reading of ordinance number 22-1154 and place it on second reading by number and title only. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Grijalva,
Yes.
Councilmember Montenegro,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tempore Morales.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries.
An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, dissolving the city of Douglas Public Housing Authority, undertaking a departmental reorganization by eliminating the housing department, establishing several legal components of ordinance, and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. Item number 8B. Discussing decision on first reading of ordinance number 22-1155. An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending the city personnel rules and regulations adopted pursuant to ordinance 684 and amended by ordinances 97-712, 99-749, 00-786, 03-846, 07-909, 08-944, 14-1045, 17-1079, and 19-1365, establishing severability of components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof. Mr. Kiko?
The mayor of the city council, periodically, staff brings forward housekeeping items to update sections of our city of Douglas personnel rules and our. This document creates the basis of the merit system for the city of Douglas and for its covered employees. And, every now and then we have to align to certain statutes to provide updates for other reasons. Either making our operations more flexible, doing benefits to these equipment, or trying to adjust, to other, practices that would make our operations more effective. We have, not come to mayor and council for revision since December of 2019. And the packet has been, routed through employees several times for comment. It has gone through, the merit system board, where we have all of the, items from the deadline to the document. And we have, attached for your review the full document with deadline. And I can go either to high-level summaries, other than what I'm providing now, or I can go to, depending on what the pressure is this evening. But, some of the key components is to be competitive, with some of our public recruitments so that our employees are not, hurt by some of those processes because of some of our internal processes. And some of our, outside of employment, clearer, so that we have, staff that isn't overworking and causing fatigue for their primary roles in their current jobs. So some of those are the key items. I'm happy to discuss any specific red line.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the placement of ordinance number 22-1155? Yes, Ms. Morales?
Move that mayor and council approve the placement of ordinance number 22-1155 on its first reading by number and title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Morales, second by Mrs. Acosta to approve the placement of ordinance number 22-1155 on its first reading by number and title only. Any questions or comments? I have one I'd like staff to consider between now and the second reading of the ordinance. I noticed that it was in there to add an additional holiday. And I know we've been, as a council, we've set a priority of trying to get our positions to market value. And I personally would like to see any funds that we have available go towards that versus adding an additional holiday. But I'd like staff to discuss that internally and with the leadership team and maybe with the staff also to see what they feel, to see how the priorities may be if that's possible between now and the second reading.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Anybody else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Acosta?
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton?
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro?
yes,
Councilmember Grijalva?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tempore Morales?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, motion carries.
Notice of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending the city personnel rules and regulations adopted pursuant to ordinance 684 and amended by ordinances 97-712, 99-719, 00-786, 03-846, 07-909, 08-944, 14-1045, 17-1079, and 19-1365. Establishing severability of components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance number 22-1155?
Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Morales.
I move that mayor and council approve the first reading of ordinance number 22-1155 and to place it on second reading by number and title only.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Morales, second by Mr. Shelton to approve the first reading of ordinance number 22-1155 and place it on second reading by number and title only. Questions or discussion?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Mrs. Costa.
just under other provisions and I'm looking at the sick leave, as it pertains to family medical leave. It states among spouses who both work for the city shall be limited to a combined total of 12 work weeks. I just have a concern with that because, as we all know, we can, our spouses could get sick and then we can end up getting sick or, each independent person has their own, health issues or concerns, I guess. My point being that they would not get a fair amount, as individuals. They're being combined as two and one person. So I don't know if that's the industry standard for human resources, but it just seems that the one over the other would be at the mercy of the other's health per se.
Thank you. Very, very good point, Mrs. Costa. Would you let you comment on that, please?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Yes, Mrs. Acosta, Councilmember Acosta, I'm sorry. That's part of the federal law. So usually it applies only for the birth of a child. So what they're saying is that they're going to split the 12 weeks between the mom and the dad. But for sickness, the city is even more generous and we provide up to 6 months for an employee. We don't necessarily combine.
Okay, okay. I guess it doesn't clarify that it's for the birth of the child, or maybe it does appear. Yeah, it does. Okay,
Okay.
I see. Okay, thank you.
I think it refers to the FMLA, the Federal Medical Leave Act, so I think that's what it may be.
Yeah.
Mentioned there. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's correct.
It's a very good point, though. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Grijalva,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro,
yes,
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes,
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tempore Morales.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, motion carries.
an ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, amending the city personnel rules and regulations adopted pursuant to ordinance 684 and amended by ordinances 97-712, 99-749, 00-786, 03-846, 07-909, 08-944, 14-1045, 17-1079, and 19-1365, establishing several data components of ordinance and establishing an effective date thereof.
Thank you. And again, if you have any other thoughts pop into your head between now and the second reading, please mention it to the city manager so we can research that out for us. Item number 8C. This is a agenda item that was revised, which was sent out yesterday. It's discussing decision on removing item 8C, the resolution 22-1533 and replacing it with the first reading of ordinance number 22-1156. An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the execution and delivery of a loan agreement between the city of Douglas, Arizona and the Water Infrastructure Authority of Arizona, WIFA, evidencing a loan from WIFA to the city in the amount not to exceed $2,100,000 for design and construction of a new well, number 18, authorizing and directing the city manager to execute and deliver all documents relating to the loan, pledging water system revenue fees for payment of the loan, establishing severability of components of ordinance, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Kehoe or Mr. Pedrosa, whoever.
Mr. Pedrosa will cover it. Thank you.
Sir Mayor, if I may interrupt for just 1 second, I know that I may be out of order, but we have the BAC school here to pick up their truck.
Oh, they're here. Wonderful.
Um,
Yeah. Time out. We're we're pleased to announce in second place, Douglas Unified School District Child Nutrition Department for the Christmas light parade. You're gonna want to take that picture.
image.
Thank you very much.
Very nice work. Thank you.
Also, we have a Boy Scout here tonight working on his merit badge. And now you have information. I should have thought of it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pedrosa, if you.
Now we're up to Mr. Pedrosa.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, members of council. Before you is, well, let me back up. The council authorized the loan debt authorization. That's for us to request a loan back in May of 2022. For this project, in October 13, the WIFA board approved the city's loan request. And therefore, the next steps are to the city formally accept the loan agreement presented by the WIFA board. The city requested $2.1 million from WIFA for this project. The loan terms include 20 years with the first 2 years of interest only at a projected interest rate of 4.25%. That is subject to change. Our closing date is scheduled for this Friday. Obviously, the rates could potentially change at that point. But they have told us they put a conservative amount. We expect it to be lower, but certainly that is subject to change. The annual debt service payments are 94,000, but that has been revised as well, and will be subject to revision based on the interest rate. The city qualified for $655,500 of forgivable principal. Basically, that's money that we don't have to pay back, kind of like a grant. So basically, we're just paying back the $1,444,500. This loan is for, as mentioned, construction engineering for well number 18. This would be a brand new well for the city, located at around the intersection of Highway 80, Pan American and A Avenue, where the city owns a parcel there. Work is already underway for this project. We have hired engineers to begin the design. We have also bid out the drilling and contractor services, which will also be considered this meeting. We also hired a financial advisor to help us with the administration of this loan, Columbia Capital, also going to be funded out of this loan. Basically, the project will take 1 year to construct is the expected date. Obviously, that's subject to fluctuation based on current logistic issues that the construction industry has experienced over this year. Obviously, this is a very crucial project for the city in needing more water production for its system, including the replacement of old wells. We're also rehabilitating well 14, if you recall. So we expect a good water production out of this well. Staff recommends acceptance of this loan agreement. And lastly, we are requesting the emergency clause due to the fact that we need to close on Friday. We obviously need to capture the most favorable interest rates and just due to the timing and capturing the market at that, we are asking for this to be emergency. And again, the change to ordinance was also determined that we were required to do it via ordinance when asking for debt authorization as opposed to a resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pedrosa. May I have a motion to approve the placement of ordinance number 22-1156?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Ms. Morales.
I move that mayor and council approve the placement of ordinance number 22-1156 on its first reading by number and title only and declaring an emergency.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Morales, second by Mr. Grijalva to approve the placement of ordinance number 22-1156 on its first reading by number and title only and declaring an emergency. Any questions or discussion? Please, Mr. Shelton.
I know this new law that just passed about drilling wells. Is that gonna cause us any problems? AMA or whatever.
Mr. Shelton, we don't expect any restrictions or anything like that with this project. We are an existing system and certainly we already provide a lot of reporting back to ADWR. So the answer right now is that no, that the AMA law would not affect the municipality that has an existing system. And this well is to supply to an existing customer base. So that's kind of the expectation. The AMA rules have still not fully formed and come out. But like I mentioned, the way that we understand it is that it would not affect us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro,
yes,
Councilmember Grijalva.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Morales,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries.
In orders of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the execution and delivery of a loan agreement between the city of Douglas, Arizona and the Water Infrastructure Authority of Arizona with evidencing a loan from WIFA to the city in an amount not to exceed $2.1 million for design and construction of a new well number 18, authorizing and directing the city manager to execute all documents related to the loan, pledging water system revenue fees for payment of the loan, establishing certain components of ordinance and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance number 22-1156?
Mr. Mayor,
Miss,
Yes, Ms. Morales.
I move that mayor and council approve the first reading of ordinance number 22-1156 and to place it on second reading by number and title only and declaring an emergency.
Is there a second?
second,
Motion by Ms. Morales, second by Mr. Shelton to approve the first reading of ordinance number 22-1156 and to place it on second reading by number and title only and declaring an emergency. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Grijalva,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro,
Mike,
Councilmember.
yes,
Councilmember Shelton,
yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Morales,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries.
An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the execution and delivery of a loan agreement between the city of Douglas, Arizona, and the Water Infrastructure Authority of Arizona, WIFA, evidencing a loan from WIFA to the city in an amount not to exceed $2.1 million for design and construction of a new well number 18, authorizing and directing the city manager to execute and deliver all documents related to the loan, pledging water system revenue fees for payments of the loan, establishing several components of ordinance and establishing several components of ordinance and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Now a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance number 22-1156.
Mr.
Miss-
Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Morales.
I move that Mayor and council approve the second reading of ordinance 22-1156 by number and title only and declaring an emergency.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Morales, second by Mr. Shelton to approve the second reading of ordinance number 22-1156 by number and title only and declaring an emergency. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, please, Mr. Grijalva.
I just want to thank staff for being proactive in the water situation. There's a lot of concerns out there, especially for the state. And that this is being proactive instead of reactive in these situations.
Thank you for that input. Anyone else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro,
yes,
Councilmember Conrad.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tempore Morales,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries.
An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of Dutchess County, Arizona, authorizing the execution and delivery of a loan agreement between the city of Douglas, Arizona and the Water Infrastructure Authority of Arizona, WIFA. Evidencing a loan from WIFA to the city in an amount not to exceed 2.1 million for design and construction of a new well number 18. Authorizing and directing the city manager to execute and deliver all documents relating to the loan, pledging water system for payment of the loan, establishing several data components of ordinance and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. It finally dawned on me why Mr. Pedrosa likes using WIFA. Is because when he used to pitch, the other team used to do a lot of whiffing. So I appreciate that. Item number 8D, discussing decision on resolution number 22-1534. A resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the acceptance of grant funding in the amount of $60,000 from the Freeport McMoran Foundation to the city of Douglas. Mr. Kiko, please.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. The city applied to this grant to fill a gap required to purchase a new bus for our transit department through the ADOT 5339 program. So part of the issue with these programs is the lag from the time that we apply for funding for some of our vehicles and the time that we get awarded. And what happened is during this period of time, there was an increase in the cost for the bus. So we were deficient. We received an allocation from FTA for the purchase of a new bus, but it wasn't quite enough to buy the bus because of increase in price. So we applied for the gap through Freeport. Our gap was $81,429. And the grant Freeport issued like for 60,000. So we're so appreciative of covering most of that gap. And staff continues to work through other means to apply for other grants to try and get that. And transit staff continues to work towards processing that purchase of that bus. Any questions, staff is here to address as well.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve resolution number 22-1534?
Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Morales.
I move the mayor and council approve resolution number 22-1534.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Morales, second by Mr. Shelton to approve resolution number 22-1534. Questions or comments?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Ms.
I
Morales.
just wanted to ask Mr. Kiko, is there any way that maybe you could reach out to Freeport McMoran again to come up with a difference due to the lag of time that happened or?
Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Morales, they work on an annual cycle and they recently issued their awards for the year and we attended a presentation recently for that. So I think in this cycle, probably not, but we do have some other efforts underway. And if we're still in that need for a subsequent cycle, you know, they might be able to catch us at the tail end. Is a possibility. So we can keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Conrad,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro,
yes,
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tempore Morales.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Also, the reason why our grant administrator is not, coordinator rather, is not here today because she had her baby over the weekend. So mama and baby are doing fine, but we gave her the night off. From here. Addenda item, which was sent out on December twelfth, 2022. Item 1A, discussion decision on resolution number 22-1535. A resolution of the mayor and council of the city of Douglas, Cochise County, Arizona, authorizing the acceptance of grant funding for the library from the University of Arizona Center for Rural Health, AZCRH, and the Arizona Library Association in the amount of $5,000 to produce healthy choices at your library programming for the benefit of the community. Ms. White? Please.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. The resolution before you asks that you accept a grant in the amount of $5,000 from the University of Arizona Center for Rural Health, Advancing Health Equity, Addressing Disparities, known as AHEAD AZ. Funding allows the library to develop and produce healthy choices at your library programming for the benefit of the community. AHEAD AZ is the University of Arizona Center for Rural Health Program, which is part of a national initiative funded through the CDC and the Arizona Department of Health Services to address health disparities in rural communities. Douglas Public Library was one of just 18 libraries selected statewide to participate in this national initiative. And our Healthy Choices programming will include 2 tracks. The nutrition track will offer cooking classes for kids and their families, free after-school snack bags, and recipes for success component. And the mindfulness and wellness track will feature yoga workshops and will teach other stress reduction strategies. And we recommend your approval. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion to approve resolution number 22-1535?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Ms. Spock.
I move that mayor and council approve resolution number 22-1535.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Acosta, second by Mr. Shelton to approve resolution number 22-1535. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, please, Ms. Morales.
that's right. Will you be doing some of these educational programs, or do you have someone that will be coming in?
We will be doing some of them, and some will be with our partnership with the University of Arizona Extension Program. They'll probably be doing some of the nutrition and probably most of the yoga workshops. We haven't finalized some of that scheduling yet, but that's what we're working on. Yes.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, please, Mr. Costa.
Thank you so much for going out and always looking for these opportunities for the library and just making it, you know, as best of a amenity as we can for the city. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We do it for the kids.
Thank you for adding that, Mr. Costa. Anyone else? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Member Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Valdenegro,
yes,
Councilmember Grijalva,
Yes.
Mayor Potempo Morales.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, motion carries. Item number 8E, discussing the decision on bid award to KP Ventures for new production water well number 18. Ms. Riquelme or Ms.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Ms.
Ms. Moore's
Moore.
here.
Yeah, Ms. Moore will-
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Hi, Mayor, members of the City Council. I'm Elise Moore with Public Works Department. This item is to award to a contractor the actual construction of the well drilling for well 18. We had 3 responsive bidders, and KP Ventures was the lowest bid at $1,132,524.02.
One slight revision from what we had in the packet is, based on the availability of the drilling rig, they may not be here till May, although we're trying to get them sooner if we can get a hole in their schedule. So with that, I'll answer any questions.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion to approve the bid award to KP Ventures?
Mayor?
Yes, Ms. Morales.
I move that mayor and council approve the bid award to KP Ventures for new production water well number 18.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Morales, second by Mrs. Acosta to approve the bid award for new production water well number 18 to KP Ventures. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, roll call please.
Councilmember Acosta,
Yes.
Councilmember Shelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Vandenegro. Councilmember Vandenegro,
Mike?
Councilmember Vandenegro. Councilmember Grijalva,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tempore Morales. Yes. Mr. Mayor.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 9, city manager reports, Mr. Kehoe.
Yes, a few announcements for end of year activities. But let me start first by saying, with our freezing temperatures, the Douglas Fire Department has opened their training room as a warming shelter. We did have one visitor last night and we are open tonight. We started at 6, it'll be open until 8 in the morning. And just trying to get the word out that that is available, and we'll monitor according to our temperature drops and the need for from a warm place. We have Friday, December 16th from 5 to 7 at the Douglas Public Library, their Christmas party and take your picture with Santa program. Saturday, December 17th from 10 to 1 p.m. at Raul Castro Park, Whoville Holiday Toys for Tots community event with a very special Santa fly-in guest. With our partnership with Lifeline Helicopter, we'll be bringing Santa in to visit children. And we have games and free hot dogs and more. So get the word out and join us for that. We also have Friday, December 23rd from 12 to 1:30 at the Visitor Center, the City of Douglas Annual Employee Recognition Luncheon. And we are letting the community know that city offices will be closed that day beginning at noon to honor our employees and provide all of service awards that afternoon. We also have Douglas Business Network that is on Sunday, December 18th, doing their best Christmas decorated house. And they do a great job with that. They're usually live on social media. A shout out also to the Douglas Business Network, who's been working with their youth coalition to work on lighting up other areas of the community with Christmas lights, and they're wrapping trees, or they will be wrapping trees, I believe, beginning in a couple of days, just to kind of get that holiday spirit and making our community look more beautiful for the rest of our Christmas and holiday season. And that's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item number 10, informational items and reports from council on future agenda item requests. Mr. Grijalva.
Thank you, Mayor. Commodities Day, third Monday of the month. Also, I'll be having an event with hot coffee, hot chocolate, and pan dulce tomorrow at the Coronado Court from 12 to 1. It's not gonna be a town hall. It's gonna be very casual. Everybody's invited. Just sit down, we can talk about concerns, any questions, and then I could relay those to staff and then update later on in the council meeting, or not the council meeting, town hall. So pan dulce, free pan dulce. If you guys leave me in a room with pan dulce long enough, I will be there afterwards. So everybody's invited. I'd also like to congratulate our city clerk. It's her birthday today. She can finally buy us beer and cigarettes, I think. So congratulations. She does a great job. A lot of these meetings are organized. If we didn't have her here, we wouldn't get a lot done. So I appreciate you and happy birthday. And Merry Christmas to all our staff. If it wasn't for our staff, our city doesn't run. You know, you could get rid of council, but you know, replace us, but our employees are irreplaceable. I appreciate all of them. We all do, and we want to wish you a safe and Merry Christmas and can't wait for 2023.
Thank you, Mr. Grajales. Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, please, Ms.
I
Morales.
actually have a question for Chief Mamali. I know with the cold temperatures, I was just wondering, do you have a need for blankets or jackets or anything that we can donate to? No?
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mayor.
Yes, please, Ms. Acosta.
Just one item that I'd like to see, in the future, and I don't know if it would be an agenda item or maybe a work session, but there's been, citizens that have brought up the, slag pile, where the smelter used to be at. That's a concern. It is an eyesore and it's been there for decades. So if staff can research that or reach out to Freeport and see what their plans is with that. I know it's been done in the past, but, you know, with our expansion, that's gonna be just kind of right in the middle of our city. And then, the second thing is, just like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And thank you especially to our public service or our public safety, our fire and our police. Not just, you know, every day when we go to bed, at night, they're out, you know, patrolling and responding to calls to keep us safe. And they also are there, working during this season, during the holidays. And I appreciate that sacrifice because they're not with family like we are. So thank you.
Thank you. I agree. Mr. Shelton?
Yes, I'd like to, on behalf of my wife and I, wish everybody out there Merry Christmas and just always remember the reason for the season. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shelton.
Mayor?
Yes, please, Ms. Morales.
Would like to say Merry Christmas also to my constituents. And I wanted to say that I went to Israel last month. And so Christmas now has a whole new meaning for me. So I'm very blessed to have gone and it was a great experience. So.
Thank you, Ms. Morales. Anyone else? Mr. Baldonado, do you have anything?
God blessings to all and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. We hope you feel better soon.
Thank you very much.
We also have a podcast coming out. I don't remember you mentioned that or not.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We partnered with KDAP to bring back Talk of the Town. I mentioned that at our last regular meeting. And our first recording of that will be tomorrow. So we hope to get that out to the community by Friday. So look to that. We're trying to expand our employee engagement or community engagement rather through more modalities outside of social media. We only get a newspaper one day a week. So we're trying to expand to radio because we know we have that segment of our population that will benefit from that. But we're also going to record as a podcast to expand into YouTube. So we're just trying to create more opportunities for information to go out to our community. And we do have, thank you, another update during our holiday season. Our trash pickup schedules do change. So look to our website for those changes. We will also put that out on social media and we are waiting post in the mornings to remind the community also of the changes due to the holiday schedule. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 11, adjournment. May I have a motion?
Mayor,
Yes, Ms. Morales.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Morales, second by Mr. Shelton to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. We stand adjourned at 6:54.